Unfortunately, I don't think there was any true winner. In 2020, I voted Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I will say it was better than the other option, because I will admit, in 2016, I did vote for Donald Trump, and I learned in those 4 years the mistake that I made. So 2020, I voted for Joe Biden.
I think they're both great fathers, and they really love their kids, and that's the number one thing that we need in America.
Can you point to any of the lies that Trump was telling? What do you think that was the biggest lie he told?
Well, I can't really think of what they are because I don't remember what the debate was when they were saying it. But fact is, there was a total ton of lies.
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
Biden has done 3.5 years of good.
What do you think the best thing he's done is?
I would say, I think that Biden won because he's the only sane person there.
Did you see any of the highlights?
I did see a little bit of it, but I didn't think it was important to watch because my mind's already made up.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Aaron again with American Interviews. Today we're out here in Portland, Oregon to ask the question, who won the presidential debate? We're going to find out. So today we're asking the question, who do you think won the presidential debate?
Unfortunately, I don't think there was any true winner. In 2020, I voted Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And I will say it was better than the other option, because I will admit, in 2016, I did vote for Donald Trump, and I learned in those 4 years the mistake that I made. So 2020, I voted for Joe Biden, and going into 2024 this time around, I don't like how Biden has performed the past 4 years, but I will take what we had the past 4 years over what we had with Trump.
Yeah.
And going forward, now seeing how Biden performed, I pray that he drops out truly, and we are able to get another younger candidate who can go toe-to-toe with Trump and give Americans the hope that we need moving forward without giving Trump that power once again.
I guess I did because I was out of the country.
Oh.
I was in Canada, and so I wasn't watching any news or any debates or anything, but I can tell you that I still think that Biden won because he's the only sane person there.
Did you see any of the highlights?
I did see a little bit of it, but I didn't think it was important to watch because my mind's already made up.
In our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicaid, beat it to death.
Were any of the highlights worrying to you?
Absolutely. It wasn't a good look for him at all.
Him being
Biden.
Okay.
It wasn't a good night for him at all, but I don't believe that he runs the country by himself.
Right.
I believe that it's a whole team.
Right.
And he allows a whole team. Whereas the other candidate thinks he knows everything and doesn't allow anybody to help him, and I don't like the way he thinks.
Right. Yeah. People have said that anyone he disagrees with, he just tries to fire, things like that. Not a team player. Would you agree with these kinds of statements?
Absolutely.
I think Trump did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What brought you to that conclusion?
Well, Joe Biden was kind of asleep. He wasn't really all there. I don't think he really is all there.
Sleepy Joe.
Oh, Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe, that's right, yeah. And Trump was actually a little bit more conservative this time.
Right.
So
I think
I was surprised with his demeanor. So I think he had this planned out. He wanted to let Joe do what he was going to do.
Right.
I think make a fool of himself. So.
I think the Democrats had this plan with the no audience and all that, but I think that played into Trump's hands a little bit. Yeah. It allowed him to be more presidential without an audience, I think.
Yeah.
And just because of that, it gave him that extra edge on top of Biden, I think.
An edge on that, yeah.
In my opinion, our President Biden kind of let us down a little bit. Looked like he's falling asleep, stuttering his words. You know, I mean, Reagan pulled it off back in his day, you know, but I mean, in my opinion, I think Trump will be a better president.
You think so?
This last one, Trump did, but Biden has done 3.5 years of good.
What do you think the best thing he's done is?
I would say.
Let's see.
I would say either.
I would say Donald Trump. And the reason for me being a supporter for Donald Trump is that I don't like voting for a president that, before he's president, doesn't have money and broke. You know, if I ever vote again for another president, they should have a plane, their own plane. They should be a millionaire before they become president. It's almost like in Europe. They don't put kings and queens that don't come from the bloodline. So you're not going to just grab somebody from the street and be a king and queen. So I believe that's how it should be here, because everybody makes promises, yeah, but the money changes people. You know, when you get in that role and you want to make better for yourself and make better for your family, well, I think we should always vote for somebody who already has it, and then that way they're not trying to take from the people.
The best thing he's done is for poor folks, but the second best thing he's done is for border.
For the border?
And I've met Biden.
Sorry, did you say for the border? For the southern border? What are the good things he's done on the southern border? There's at least 8 million undocumented people who have come in through his presidency. It's up significantly from Trump's numbers.
He's on it. I know that,
Yeah.
and he does at least acknowledge.
Right, yeah.
So.
Yeah. To play devil's advocate for just 1 second, some people might say, yes, it would be good to not have someone who's money hungry, but if you already have the money, wouldn't power complete the package?
Yes, I would prefer a president for power than money, because then you're just looking for more land, you know, like Christopher Columbus and them. They just go seeking land or just things, you know, areas, and just to make power or bring another country in. So it's not about like hitting the people up that's in your country, you know. So like, you know, higher food and gas and things like that. So yeah, I mean, that's why like everyone goes to Europe, enjoys themselves, be like, I'd love to be able to live there, and I'd love to work there and not live here, you know. And here we are. It's you know, it's why, because, you know, they do have their own little problems, but once again, you know, you don't put, you know, money changes people. When you're making promises, you know, and then you start seeing things, and, you know, to go have a steak dinner in Italy on the weekend, fly over there, you get accustomed to that, and you want that after you get out of the White House. Yeah. You know?
Huh? I heard my parents talking about it.
What were they saying?
They were kind of disappointed in Biden being slow, but they're definitely left-leaning. So,
yeah. Did they say anything specific about Biden's slowness?
I don't really pay attention. Yeah.
Biden. Yeah.
That's the first Biden I've got today. Is there any evidence you can point towards that would make you come to this conclusion?
The stuff he was talking about was on the point, and stuff that Trump was talking about was lies.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, he's got dementia too, so.
That's not very nice. I'm sure that's not true. There have been people that say that the reverse, the inverse of that. So people have said that Biden was lying the whole time, and that it was the other way around.
Biden was not lying.
You don't think so? Can you point to any of the lies that Trump was telling? What do you think that was the biggest lie he told?
Well, I can't really think of what they are because I don't remember what the debate was when they were saying it. But fact is, there was a total ton of lies.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8. But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Hey,
Let's not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to
21
Let's not act like children.
Do you think Biden is a 6 handicap in golf?
You know, I don't know much about golf, but I think that probably not from what I've heard. So, yeah.
I'm not a golfer either.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer, so I don't think so. Yeah, the end of that debate was kind of ridiculous for both of them.
Right.
You know.
I think if at any point Trump is saying let's not act like children,
Yeah.
there's something going on.
Pretty bad when Trump's saying don't act like children here. No, Trump was, his demeanor was totally different this time in this debate compared to 4 years ago. Yeah. But he knew what he was doing. I mean, he knew the state that Joe Biden was in, and he knew just to kind of let Joe do his thing, which was to make a fool of himself and embarrass himself and show the American people he's not fit to be president another 4 years.
Right. Do you know anything about golf, sir?
A little bit.
Trump said that the biggest lie of the night was that Biden is a 6 handicap in golf. Do you think that?
Oh.
Do you think that Biden is a 6 handicap or was?
You care what Trump said anyway?
Well, Biden brought it up. Biden challenged Trump to a driving contest during the debate. Yes.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it was quite a comical moment. Yeah. You should go back and watch some clips. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah, guess so.
What about Biden's? There's been a lot of mumblings in the Democratic Party, MSNBC, CNN. They've done hours on it now about Biden's possible slipping cognition. Does that worry you at all? Having maybe 81-year-old, potentially 85-year-old president.
Yes, it does. But again, like I said, I don't think one single person runs the country. I think, again, he allows a team. And, the other candidate isn't really any older or any younger, excuse me. And, his cognitive skills, I mean, they're not very good either.
Right.
I mean, maybe they didn't show that night.
Yeah.
But, I can't go there.
Anyone who is 81 years old will have some cognition issues, but there's a wisdom factor in that also. And so Trump is 76.
Yeah.
So when he then say if he'll be 80. My grandpa, and I just spoke to him on the phone today, he's 94 years old, going to be 95 this year, and golfs every Monday.
Right.
So age, no.
Right. I don't think it's about necessarily a particular age number. I think it's more about signs of slipping. Many people that have known Trump personally for many years have said that he's the same guy that he was a decade ago and a decade before that. And if I'm playing devil's advocate, the argument is that Trump is still all there and that Biden is slipping significantly. Would you agree? Do you think there's truth to that?
There is some truth to a question of age, yes. But Biden gave a recent speech in Delaware or New Hampshire, I can't remember, on the East Coast. And he said, yeah, I had a bad night. I had a bad day.
There possibly can be, but he's pretty much set now, so it doesn't matter. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for somebody that's been set, and he was set even after he was president, and all he wants is power, and he wants to make America better, man, just for everybody. So we got a lot of homeless shit going on here, and
I'm up here to investigate some of that too.
So,
Do you play golf?
I used to, but my brother.
Do you think Biden was ever a 6 handicap?
No. No. No.
No shot?
No shot. Not with that walk.
Did you see that clip?
No.
You should go home and look up, just look up golf presidential debate.
But also, I want to say one thing. You know, like, as we believe in the dollar here in America, and everywhere it does, and even on our dollar, it says, in God we trust, right? So, it's sort of based on that's our government. It's sort of biblical, right? Yeah. So, you know, I believe in forgiveness and second chance, even sometimes third chance. So, just like Biden, he's giving his son a second chance, third chance. You know, Donald Trump is somebody's son too. Give him a second chance, third chance. That's all I got to say.
There were rumblings of Biden's cognition maybe slipping into dementia or Alzheimer's, some things like that. Would you agree with these statements?
Yeah, I think he definitely has something going on. Yeah, who knows what it is? You know, I'm not a doctor, so. Right. But he definitely is declining rapidly. I mean, you look back at the debate from 4 years ago, and it was like a totally different guy.
Right.
So, and, you know, he stumbles so much, so.
Right. Does that worry you at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm very worried.
So, go ahead.
No, I'm very worried. I don't think he should be running the country right now. I don't think he is running the country.
Right. Biden has stated that he's not prepared to drop out of the race. That has worried a lot of the Democratic Party. You mentioned that worries you a little bit too. You wish he would drop out. Do you think he's feeling pressures from outside, maybe his wife, Obama, that whole cabinet? Do you think maybe he's feeling pressure to stay in office from them?
Unfortunately, yes. While I'm not the biggest fan of Kamala Harris either, I do think Kamala Harris, being younger and more alert and has what it takes to lead the country better than Biden. However, unfortunately, where we are as a country, I don't think we're ready to. I don't think we will have the support needed to vote not only a woman, but a woman of color alone. So if he stepped down and Kamala Harris took his place, I don't think she would get the support that we need.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's Biden or Harris, we're going to have the support of the left, regardless where I lie pretty far left. However, where we need those middle ground. We need common sense conservatives and Republicans to sway to the left over Trump. As Trump is far right, far extremist right, we need those middle ground people. And to pull middle ground people to vote for a woman of color, I think is going to be a stretch, unfortunately.
Right.
I think as much as I'd rather have Biden over Trump, I do think Biden needs to be enjoying the rest of his life. The guy looks like he's definitely wearing down, and he needs to be on a beach somewhere enjoying what years he has left with his family.
Right. There's been mumblings on the Democratic side, especially right after the debate. MSNBC.
No.
Yeah.
No.
People are pushing for him to withdraw. His wife, Dr. Jill Biden, has insisted that he stay in the race. Do you think he should stay in?
Yes, I do. I do insist that he stays in the race. The reason why is because he has been in politics for 35 years plus, 45 years, some odd number.
Yeah.
And he was a vice president. And
you're good. We're at the Blues Festival.
Danke. I appreciate you for that. And I thought that too. I really thought like, oh gosh, after the first one, oh my gosh. But you know what? No.
If Biden decides to drop out, which he has said that he's not looking to drop out, do you think Kamala has a chance, or do you think they'll skip right over her? Some people have mentioned maybe Gavin Newsom. Do you think there's some truth to that? What are your thoughts on that?
I heard that her polling is better than Biden.
The Vegas odds, I think she just surpassed Biden in the Vegas odds.
Yeah, I think she's polling better. I'm not a fan of Kamala either. Newsom would probably be better. I think Newsom would probably give Trump a little bit of a harder run. So, but if they keep the way it is, I think Trump's going to win.
People have said that RFK is a spoiler for this election. Would you agree with those claims that he's just in it to spoil?
RFK, he's an interesting one. I give him the credibility as a third party. I mean, Green Party, Libertarian Party, while I do like things from both the Libertarian and the Green Party, I think RFK is just in there to stir the pot. Realistically, I don't think he stands a chance. I follow this website online where people in Europe actually make bets, money bets on which way our elections are going to go. And it takes everything into account, and this AI takes the data and gives you a percentage on which they think candidate is going to go up or down, the percentages and everything. And I think last time I checked, RFK was sitting at like a 2% chance. Unfortunately, Trump, this was after the debate, it said Trump was sitting at like a 50% chance, Biden was sitting at a 20% chance, and then it showed some other candidates that could possibly replace Biden, Harris, Newsom, Buttigieg, all of them, and they were sitting around the single-digit percentages.
Speaking of odds, I think the Vegas odds just changed to Kamala over Biden.
Wow, I salute that. I mean, if we can rally that support for her and get her in there, I'll take that over Trump. Absolutely.
You know, I was kind of for RFK until he chose his running mate, and his running mate is his top donor. And that just ruined the entire thing. I mean, he should have never chose her. She's got no political experience, which is not necessarily a bad thing in politics anymore. But, you know, picking your top donor to be your VP running mate.
Especially when he brings up BlackRock and State Street and all these Vanguard, all these companies all the time. It's talking about big money.
Stuff. A lot of things he talks about, especially, you know, holistic health and organic foods and, you know, cleaning up our grocery stores and educating people about nutrition. I think those things are good, but I think, you know, I don't think he's the guy.
He kind of scares me. And yes, I do.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you say he scares you?
Science, and the fact that he's not really a true believer in some really strong science facts.
Like what?
Like vaccination, and I don't know for sure where he stands on global warming and things like that, but
He's very, very, very active for the environment, actually. He made a lot of his first money suing companies that were polluting into rivers. He's a very big green activist, actually.
Okay, well, there's concerns there. If your family doesn't want anything to do with you and doesn't support you, that's a red flag. And like I said, I don't know that he's going to be strong. I don't know that anybody's going to be strong enough to come in and jump in and do it. I feel like we kind of just need to stick to our guns on this and just ride it out and vote.
Yeah. Do you think that she would be a better replacement for Biden?
Oh, definitely. I mean, anybody be a better replacement.
Would you vote for Kamala, do you think?
Probably not.
Probably not?
I'm going for Trump.
You're voting Trump? All right. I appreciate your time. There are people that say if Biden was to be replaced by Newsom and they skip over Kamala, that would be very troublesome for the Democratic Party, seeing how they're all for equality and Biden's administration was all about having a diverse background, cabinet, everything. Some people say that this could be detrimental, skipping over a woman of color for a white male. What do you think about those statements?
Yeah, I think if they skip over Kamala, it's going to have a lot of issues for the Democratic Party. I really think so. I think, you know, probably she should be the one to take over at this point, but I don't think she'll beat Trump.
Do you think Newsom would have a shot?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's.
You don't think that would matter, what we just talked about? You don't think that would play a significant enough role to turn the tides, maybe to make the independents sway right?
No, I think especially the Democrats would vote for another Democrat. But right now, I think the issue is that I have a lot of Democrat friends. I'm independent. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats, and they're so concerned about Biden's health right now that they're considering voting for Trump just to, you know, have somebody in there that's mentally competent.
Right. There's a large panic happening on the Democratic side, and it's kind of hushed, but it's very plainly in sight for people to see.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they're in full panic mode, full recovery mode. I think there's what the White House wants and what the rest of the Democratic Party wants is two different things right now. And, you know, Biden is probably stubborn. You know, people that go through dementia, Alzheimer's, a lot of times they don't see it for themselves. And to him, he probably thinks, you know, I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. I was just tired. I mean, his press secretary was trying to chalk it up to overseas trip that was 12 days,
Right.
After the debate. So,
woman claiming that it was a cold, and then someone pressed the press secretary saying, "Why did you lie about the cold? Did you know about this?" Yes, there was all that, going on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of walk back.
A lot of spinning.
A lot of walk back. They're in full panic mode right now. If I was to bet on it, I think Biden might drop out. I think so.
And he said, "Yeah, I had a bad night. I had a bad day. That's no problem. But look at it."
Do you think it was due to the cold that a lot of pundits are pointing to?
I think it was attributed to his guidance and pushing him too hard.
Do you think that it was too strenuous at Camp David?
I do. You can't have elderly men, both of them, elderly men, at 9 p.m. going on a debate, and Biden said, "Yeah, I had a bad day.
I'll leave my personal feelings out of it because I think they're both great fathers and they really love their kids, and that's the number one thing that we need in America is a good father. So I'm not afraid of either one becoming president. There's a lot of different reasons, like any president that supports the police, fire department, and EMTs, and will do anything for them, they would have my vote for sure. So, I mean, who doesn't really support them? And other than that,
some people would say that there was a pretty radical unrest and the police were not really called upon during the BLM riots and things like that during Biden's administration. What would you say to the people that Biden does not support the police?
Well, I would say his hands are kind of tied because he's got policymakers and like 1,000+ friends around him. He has to do what they say. What he really feels, you'll probably never know. I mean, they're both really great men, superb fathers. They care so much. Like Trump, he gave his kids an allowance of $1 a week to teach them Fibonacci sequence. Whereas, like with Biden, he's a great father because he misses his son who passed away so much. And
the son who he couldn't remember the date of his passing? Was it the same son?
Yeah, why would you want to remember that date? So, I mean,
I remember the exact hour my dad died, the exact day to the hour.
Well, when my dad died, the room seemed to be all shifted. I mean, I felt a lot of grief and kind of weird about it. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt. Plus, both candidates are like almost in their 90s in diapers and on amlodipine and probably eating prunes. I mean,
would you think that both of the candidates' cognition? Do you think that they're comparable? Their state of minds?
I think with the cognition, I wouldn't question it because you only have to be over 35 and everybody has to like you a lot, and they're both really likable. But
right, but the concern isn't the young age; it's the old age slipping into dementia, possibly Alzheimer's. The cognition to be able to remember, this is the person who has his finger on the nuclear button. He has the nuclear football at all times. So we want someone sharp. Would you agree with the statement? People have said that Biden is sharp as a tack still. Would you agree with that?
I would say with nuclear, he's as sharp as a tack because neither one of these guys in their sleep is going to press that button. No way. Because they're Americans. Now, Russian might be like, la, 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 boom, And, but I trust these guys with not only my life, but like millions of lives. I mean, either one. I'm not afraid of who's going to win. I just am so excited about what's going to happen in this country.
Right.
Whether it's great or grand or whatever. I'm Green Party too, because I got tired of everybody like arguing at the dinner table and stuff. I just, I hug trees every once in a while because nobody will give me a hug. And
I'll give you a hug right here, dude.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great 4th.
Can I paint a theoretical picture for you? Let's say Biden gets through a very, very busy day at the White House, maybe some traveling, a few flights. He comes back and there's a nuclear incident in the middle of the night. Do you think his cognition will play a role then? So there's been statements already, official statements saying that he's more of a daytime guy. He kind of slips off at night a little bit.
Yeah. So we all know our U.S. president is a speaking scapegoat. So if that happens in the middle of the night, he's going to be supported because absolutely our country is going to be just a-okay.
Yeah. There's a 6-minute window from the time of an alert of a nuclear attack. There's 6 minutes for the president to get from wherever he is to, first they have to get to the secure bunker, which is probably going to take a few minutes with Biden. And also then, no offense, I don't think he's up to sprinting capacity anymore.
I met him, I met him and Jill when I was in Iraq. I'm a Army veteran, 10-year service. So I spoke with Biden and Jill, and when they
feel comfortable with, does that concern you at all?
What concerns me is our entire level of politics is not our age and days. Yeah?
Yeah. Do you think that the two-party system is broken and outdated? We need to...
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I do agree that the two-party system, we need 6 parties. We need anyone who...
Do you think more importantly than the party system, do you think more focusing on lobbyists and regulations about how much you're allowed to donate to certain campaigns, do you think that would help more rather than trying to switch around parties and come up with new parties in this type of song and dance? Do you think that maybe it would be easier to focus on where the money's coming from?
I don't want to get into the money factor.
That's all right. Well, I do appreciate all the time you've given me today, and thank you so much. We'll get one of these.
Yeah.
Did you run through the fountain? Oh, I bet it felt good. One more. Do you believe that the two-party system is broken?
Yes, I do.
Do you think that there's a fix for that, or are we just headed down a path that's irreparable?
I think it's something that we really need to look at. In future years. My son is young and has talked about running for president because they do, his generation, a lot of them do believe that the two-party system is not working, and I can't agree more. I mean, it's all about money. It's not about the betterment of people. It's about buying what you want, and that's got to stop.